Here's what's coming up on today's show.
We're going to review things. We're going to make changes as we see fit based on your situation and making sure that you're allocated properly and taking advantage of different opportunities. But we're not going to do is sell when the markets go down.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
Well, fun fact of the week, I did a little reading about biology this past week, Mark.
Okay.
The liver is the only human organ that can fully regenerate itself. Sort of like a starfish, I guess, you know?
I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that cool? I guess there are a lot of people out there who have problems with the liver. They probably wish that their liver could regenerate itself. And
I guess if you drink too much, it may not, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. A lot of people end up with cirrhosis of the liver,
right,
which is something you definitely do not want.
Yeah.
Liver is a very important organ, and that's for sure.
It is.
And let's go into something else that we know a whole lot more about, and that is financial decisions and how emotions play into that. And, we've talked about that a little bit earlier today, aside from that conversation about, Valentine's Day. Now, emotions involved in that, but most people like to think that they always make decisions based on logic and facts, but the truth is that emotions usually play a role for all of us in the decision-making process. What types of emotions do you find are likely to drive those big financial decisions?
Well, money is emotional, and so when we do our financial life plan, we are out looking not just at the facts, but also the emotional side of money. Because like I said, money is very emotional, and there's actually a financial therapy association that actually exists as well. So, people are emotional. We're emotional creatures. We're driven by emotion. So people can be scared and make decisions based on that, which may not be rational because emotions take over. Sometimes we don't make the best decisions. So that's why it's important to work with someone who can help you take the emotion out and get you back to logic so you don't make a huge mistake with your financial plan that could derail you for years to come.
Mark, I know that sometimes people get really emotional when they're in your office and you're talking about things and, they've had something tough thrown at them in life, and it can be a really emotional process.
It is. I mean, there's a reason why we have a Kleenex box in our in our conference room. Some people would get very emotional when it comes to money, and it's understandable. It could be a trigger, but we've got to try to get the emotions out and figure out why people have those emotions and what might be a roadblock for them, so that they can move forward and make better financial decisions for them and their families.
Think back with, through all the years that you've been doing this and all the clients that you've had and all the folks you've talked to, what are some of the mistakes that you've seen people make because of emotional decision making?
Timing the market. Back in the last financial crisis, which was 2007 to 2009, it was an 18-month period there. It was tough, watching the markets down for that long. A lot of people got out of the market and truly never got back in time. And do I understand it? Yes. But if you're one of our clients and you stayed through it, you're much better off, because if you miss even a few days in the market, up days, it can severely impact your rate of return. And so you can't time the market. I've tried it. It does not work. So you've got to stay invested and make sure you're in the right portfolio that's well diversified. You have the right combination of stocks, bonds, and cash. And you're in the right sectors and international. You have some international diversification, so you're not making bets on one thing versus another, and that'll help smooth out the ride for you, so you can stay invested and focus on your goals versus trying to time the market and get in and out.
Now, I know that you've been doing this for a number of years and you have a lot of experience in this, but are there times when it is appropriate to factor in emotions in your financial decisions?
Yeah. Like I said, we have tools that we use when we go through our financial life planning process, which takes the emotion in, and so I can truly understand what's going on with maybe some people's money patterns and how they were raised and the different behaviors, financial behaviors that they have based on money, so I can help guide them and get them through those roadblocks so that they can make better decisions, so they're able to achieve the goals that they want and they're not stuck. Because if you're not investing or you're not in the appropriate investments, you're never going to get ahead. And so it's important that you understand how investments work and that you stay in the right portfolio and the reasons why. And we have all those different tools that we use to help people get through those situations that have some challenges.
We're talking about emotions and how they may indeed play into a lot of your financial decisions. And without naming any names, of course, Mark, if you would, give us an example of a time when you've helped somebody construct a solid financial plan that worked for them mathematically, but also met their emotional needs.
I mean, every time we do it, I mean, some people have more emotions when it comes to money than others. Some people are not as connected in that way. So it really just depends. But certain people, especially people that have maybe been doing it themselves, that don't understand how investing works, have been scared. They read the headlines in the news, which is never a good thing, because the news, bad news sells more so than good news. But if you look at the trends over time, the markets, there's more up years than there is down years. So the key is to be in the right portfolio. So it's guiding them and showing them, hey, we can't predict the future, but here's historically, had you been in this portfolio, this is what you would have done. And guiding them through that process and say, hey, we're going to invest the money for you this way. And when the markets go down, happy to have a conversation for you, but what we're not going to do is we're not going to sell. We're going to review things. We're going to make changes as we see fit based on your situation and making sure that you're allocated properly and taking advantage of different opportunities. But we're not going to do is sell when the markets go down.
If you're following the news every day, I mean, it's like an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. It'll drive you crazy.
Everything is so sensationalized, and things are written or reported or whatever for clicks or viewership or whatever, and so it's really hard to be on that particular roller coaster. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Mark, for the folks out there who've been listening to this show for a long time, and I know that there are radio shows out there that are quite different from yours. You are a fiduciary. You have the best interests of your clients at heart. Some folks out there are just financial salespeople, and they're trying 100%. To push products, but it doesn't work that way with you, does it?
It doesn't. We are a true fiduciary. We're a CFP. I mean, there's other people that are on the radio. Most of them, quite honestly, are there to sell you annuities or other insurance products, and they're earning a commission. They are not fiduciaries. They're not CFPs, and you can just ask them if they're a CFP or not, and see what their answer is. Yeah. But and I'm not saying CFPs are the only people you need to be working with, but it does do the due diligence for you. It does vet them, and there's not a good reason if somebody's taking this industry seriously why they're not a CFP.
Yeah.
So it's your money. Why wouldn't you demand the best? And so your call.
Yeah. The folks who are just listening to the show for the first time today, remind us, how many years have you been doing this?
I am going to be entering my year 31 next month, believe it or not.
That's a lot of folks that you've helped to and through retirement. And certainly you've got lots of stories you can tell people and experience to rely on. My goodness, there is no reason not to take advantage of the opportunity to at least get acquainted with Mark Silverman. Call or text 520-333-7601. That's 520-333-7601, because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life. Mark Silverman is a certified financial planner professional, the founder of Silverman & Associates, the managing member, serving folks all over Tucson, southern Arizona, a lot of folks in other parts of the world to count on Mark Silverman for helping them get to and through retirement as well. He's got a lot of folks out there who are taking advantage of the True Wealth financial life planning process. So call today, get your complimentary conversation with Mark Silverman, probably last 15, 20 minutes or so. It's not going to cost you a penny. 520-333-7601. That is 520-333-7601. Your number to call to make it happen. You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601. Or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.